Welcome to Rik and That Michelle Chick. I'm That Michelle Chick.
And I'm Rik. Welcome. Howdy. Come on in. Kick the shoes off and let's chat.
Okay, so I really want to hear your review of the Superman movie. First off, did you go to the early showing or did you wait for Megan? Because that's critical information.
Yeah.
You did wait for her?
No, I did not. So no, but she knew. But she knew. So I had talked to her a couple days before and said, traditionally I go on the first showing of any superhero movie. Now I have not done it in a long time because Marvel hasn't been that good. But right. I did go see Superman Thursday before it opened.
Oh.
And then I did go see it again on Friday with Megan.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I've gone a couple times.
Okay. And what are your thoughts?
Well, I think what I think is it is the best comic book accurate movie you're going to find. So if you're a huge fan of the comic books and especially of what they call the Silver Age, you're going to love this Superman. This Superman is not all powerful. I mean, he's still powerful, but he's not at that extreme to where he can push a planet with a pinky. And so he gets, I think it's interesting. And again, spoiler talk, but I mean, he spends most of the movie getting his butt kicked. You know what I'm saying? But at the end you get that heroic, he puts it all together and here comes Superman. There's a lot of great cameos. They did really good with the Green Lantern, Hawk Girl, the different DC superheroes that are in there, sprinkled in. For me, if it's so funny, I would buy that movie today for $50. Absolutely. It was that good. So I'm going to put that one probably for me in my top 3 of all time of just superhero movies. And what made me think about it here. So as I was watching it, Michelle, I remember 1978 and my very first Superman movie, which was Christopher Reeve. So I know everybody else loves Star Wars and all that, but for me, superheroes was my jam. And to see Christopher Reeve and Superman. So for me, it was funny. I was talking to a coworker. He was like, "Well, this has got to be your favorite Superman movie." Well, I'm like, "Well, nostalgically, I got to put Superman number 1 because when you're 8 years old and how you view the world, and then how you view the world as a middle-aged person is totally different. So at 8 years old, you're in this awe, this whoa. I had never seen that. Now, I've seen a billion superhero movies, so it wasn't like, and it's still, it was entertaining. I loved it. My son and I went. He has not seen it yet, so I don't want to do any spoilers. But he was talking. We're going to go in a couple weeks, but he was talking about. Well, he hopes it's woke. It's woke, and so I personally, I think there was some analogies in there, but I don't think it's.
I mean, Fox News was calling it woke.
Yeah, you're right. So there are analogies
necessarily. Right?
Yeah, there are analogies in there. There's no doubt. There is some analogies, but I mean, would I say it's on the nose? Now AJ, my coworker, disagreed with me. He goes, "It's on the nose." I'm like, "Well, I didn't feel that," and he's like, "Oh, it's on the nose. It's right there in your face." So I will. One little bit of spoiler talk for me, which it really hit me at an emotional core by the fact I will do one little bit of. Have you seen it, Michelle?
No, but Shaylee went to go see it. Her friend made her go see it because her friend likes one of the actors in the. I don't even know which one it is.
Okay.
And I think that the only superhero movie she's ever seen is probably The Avengers, and she said it was pretty good. She liked it.
Good.
I mean, she was kind of dreading going to see it because I don't think she knew anything about Superman. But yeah, she enjoyed it.
I will say it's 2 hours and it goes so fast that I mean it's just a rapid fire thing. So and it's funny and you got Crypto the Super Dog. I mean, there's a lot of great things that steal the show. But I will say this for me, the best part of the movie, there's a twist in the movie. To where, so again, as you know his story, rocketed to Earth as a little baby, the Krypton blew up, and so he's in the Fortress of Solitude at the very beginning of the movie, and they're replaying a message from his real parents. So Jor-El and Lara, his real parents, and so but half the message is garbled. He doesn't know what the other half of the message is. So all the time he's there, he's like my parents said, that I was here for good. I'm here for good. I'm here to help people. They love me. And that was playing there. Well, Lex Luthor breaks into the fortress and steals the message and ungarbles the end part of the message. And you discover, which he uses against Superman in the movie, that his parents at the very end says, "We love you. Now we want you to conquer. We want you to be a conqueror. Use your power. Use your strength. Be a conqueror. Take many wives, a harem, all these different things." So Superman at the start of this movie has believed that his parents were benevolent, and that he was there to do good. And so through the movie, he's doubting himself and can't, trying to get his head straight in that situation. And so, and it's interesting because this Superman's 30 years old. He's not middle-aged or anything. He's still young. And when we were 30, and come on, when we were 30, we still didn't have not everything figured out.
No, you barely have any life experience behind you.
So it was interesting through the movie, his parents, his adopted parents, or the kids would try to call him, and he was never rude, but he would kind of fluff them off, if that made sense. You're like, oh, that's your parents, da 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 da. So again, this message comes out. Lex Luthor uses it against him. The whole world turns against Superman. But at the end of the movie, as he wraps up, as he succeeded, did what he was supposed to do, they say, "Hey, play that message from your parents." And guess who the parents are now? It's the foster, it's the Kents, it's the foster family. Aww. So that's how they because and they have a big in the middle of the movie. He's talking to Pa Kent, and Pa Kent is like, "Yeah, your choices make you basically," and you've seen that in the TV trailer, makes you the man of who you are. So that was a nice twist in the movie to where, and I believe this really happens to a lot of kids that have been abandoned or don't know their real parents. They have an idyllic vision of who they think their parents are.
Right.
So having been a foster kid and been pushed into the system, it's like, I've talked about this a lot. I knew my biological parents. I mean, I love my biological parents, but I did not have, because of what happened, I did not have that emotional attachment because I wasn't really raised by them.
Right.
I wasn't raised by them. So my morals or my values, and where did my work ethic come from? Well, it came from my foster parents. And so for me, that direct correlation, that great twist, right, to where at the end of the movie, they have a big, they show all of his kid movies, his baby movies, and shows you how loving the adopted parents are.
Right.
So for me, that was the best part of the twist. If you're a foster kid or you're a kid who doesn't know who their parents are, it was a neat for me. Took me right back to being 8 years old.
Right.
And I even wrote about that. It's so funny. I even, in my book, if you read my book, there's a journal passage from my foster mom in her own. I only have a couple things that she wrote in her journal about me, but one of them was Virgil's going to go see Superman. And so I know exactly. It was March 8th, 1978. So I know exactly, or 79. So I know exactly when that journal entry is. And so I put that in the book, not before having seen this Superman movie.
Right.
But her writing in her journal about how I was so excited to go see Superman. And so in my book, there's a couple journal entries that my mom made that correlate with some of the stories that I told. So Joe's blue ribbons in there. There's a correlation, her journal entry, and then so you can see me flesh out that real story. So for me, if you're a foster kid, if you're somebody thinking, because that's the hard reality for kids. That is the hard reality for a kid who's been abandoned, that they really put the parent that's not there on a pedestal, and they really think that parent can't do any wrong, and that parent may not be that great. And there's a great foster kid movie called Instant Family with Mark Wahlberg and Isabella Merced, and you got to watch it. It's wonderful. Where my mom's coming back for me. It's going to be perfect, and my mom really wants me, and all these things go on. And then anyway, it's a great movie. So for me, the Superman. You can talk about the woke stuff, sure, but for me, that correlation between and through the movie, he's blowing off his foster parents. He's blowing them off, and has this, my real parents, my biological parents. And then at the end of the movie, you realize that those who gave him the values, those who gave him the morals, and it wasn't even them. he's still in control. Because my foster mom, Pearl, used to always say, Virgil, every action has a consequence. Every action has a consequence. So and it was interesting enough. I got arrested in high school. I don't ever talk about it. I don't ever talk about it because I'm ashamed of it and embarrassed by it. But
I don't
but
think
I
you've
did
told
get
me
arrested.
this story.
What's that?
I don't think you've told me this story.
No one knows. No one knows.
Oh gosh.
So
Okay.
no one knows. But I don't like to talk about it. But I've only been arrested one time in my entire life. It was expunged off my record, so technically it doesn't exist. And I remember when Mom picked me up at the police station, and I was bawling, I was crying, and I was and my dad had already passed away. My foster dad had already passed away, and so I'm sitting there talking to my foster mom, and I'm like, "Well, Dad's looking down. He's so ashamed. He's so embarrassed. I'm so humiliated, and because I always, to me." You can say it. I come off as holier than thou sometimes. Come on, you can say it.
I think we all do it to some degree.
A lot of people think I'm a goody goody.
Mm.
I mean, I think that's a fair statement.
I think to some degree, we all
because I don't party. I don't party. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Like you don't drink alcohol.
No,
like you never have.
No, I don't at all. I just no. And I try. I'm not perfect, far as from perfect, but I do try to be a pretty good person.
Right.
For the most part. So Mom picks me up. She's talking to me, and I'm crying, ready for the lecture. And she just literally goes, everybody falls down. Everybody makes mistakes, Virgil. What you do going forward is what defines you. If you continue this behavior, you're gonna reap what you sow. And so those are the little things that every action has consequences. So yeah, so that movie for me took me right back to 8 years old. And the foster parent, the biological correlation. And then outside of that, it's a fun movie. Go see it. I'm going to see it. I'm going to go see it again with Logan in a couple weeks. And I'd buy it today. So it just really has a lot of great messages in there. Mm-hmm. And maybe there's some woke messages. The best part of the Superman movie is being a good person.
Right.
That is Superman to me. And I used to and now I can honestly answer the question. So for years, I've been a big Superman fan or a superhero fan for 40 plus years. I can finally answer the question because everybody asks me, who's your favorite superhero? And I always say, well, Superman was my first, but I like them all. No.
Right.
I can quantify today that for me, Superman is my favorite because he's my first. And then just the be a good person.
Right.
He's the big Boy Scout.
Batman, so
love Batman for different reasons. Batman, yeah. Everybody wants to be Batman. Everybody wants to be Batman. Yeah. I get it, but for me, it's like because even in the movie, they make such a great point to see Superman saving a squirrel out of a tree, saving children, all these different things that really exemplifies who Superman is. And and so Batman might let you die. He'll do his best to save.
Depends on the day for Batman.
It does depend on the day, and as I always say, who's writing it? Who's writing the story? Because remember, these are fictional characters, so it goes back to that big joke of like, well, can Batman beat Superman? Well, who's writing it? The writer decides. If I decide that, so if it's going to be an evil Superman, it'll be an evil Superman. But they really did a great job, and kids and families should go see it. And I think you and Jay would enjoy it a lot. And I'm gonna go see it with Logan because I really want to see if he can pick out the woke message in it and see if he.
I'm sure he will.
I was not woke enough.
Like we talked about last week, I feel like everybody's just labeling wokeness with whatever they don't agree with. Like, why can't you just go watch this movie, enjoy this movie, and not think anything of like it's woke or it has this message or that message? Just go have a good time. That's what we used to do when we were younger.
It's a popcorn movie.
There wasn't no hidden message or trying to decode what it is or the conspiracy or just go watch it and have fun. Shoot.
Well, and if you want to go see it, I'm sure Shaylee said the dog stole the show. Did she not say the dog stole the show?
Yeah, I mean, she loves animals, and so I had told her. Yeah. I told her because she was kind of dreading going, especially after she heard it was over 2 hours, and I go, "Oh, don't worry, there's a dog in it.
A
You'll love it.
super dog, a super dog.
Yeah.
So the dogs fly. There's all these great scenes. That's also what makes this movie so much fun. Is James Gunn said he took in a stray dog, and so this dog. Well, Crypto was a real dog in comic books, but he
Right.
modeled it after his rescue. And he said when he first got this rescue, he ate his computer, ate his shoes, destroyed the house, and so that's what made him want to write this story. He said, well, what if my dog really had superpowers?
Right.
And so he wrote Crypto in the Superman movie because Crypto does exist in Superman, and the dog he's a dog, but he's destroying crap as a dog would. so yeah, I'm sure there'll be some great scenes that you'll actually enjoy about it. Is because
Right.
if you've ever had an unruly dog that you can't keep control of, this is that.
Or cats.
It's not,
yeah,
because they do a great thing where the dog is average intelligence for the dog. It just happens to have superpowers.
right.
So it fetches toys, but it doesn't fetch toys like, or different things that it does. So, it breaks through walls and, all these different things. So I think you'll love it a lot. So I definitely highly recommend it. Didn't mean to get so much into Superman, but I love the movie and really love the correlation with the foster parents.
Right. Well, I'm so glad. I feel like now I'll probably cry because when we get to that part.
There's some scenes. Yeah. There's some crazy scenes, and Lex Luthor is evil, so it's good. You'll love it.
Okay.
Nicholas Hoult plays Lex Luthor. He's great.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. We'll go see it. Let's switch gears to the Emmy nominations.
Yeah.
What did you think of them today?
Well, one of my favorite shows, I'm looking right now. I love this new show on the WB called The Pit. So, Noah Wiley. I love Noah Wiley. Anyway, yeah, he's the lead actor. He's in there, an outstanding drama series. But there's a lot of great shows. I will admit some of these I have not seen. I mean, I do know a lot about them. Oh,
okay. Well, I do watch Severance. Have you watched that?
I have not watched Severance. Is that on Apple?
Yes.
That's the one streaming service I do not. I have them all but Apple. Yeah. So I know that it's a fun movie. I like Hacks. I've seen Hacks.
Yes, I love Hacks.
Yep, I've seen The Residents. Love The Residents. Mm-hmm. Abbott Elementary. I love Abbott Elementary. There's a lot of, believe it or not, the superhero one, The Penguin. I have not seen it. I know I have HBO.
Me either.
But I mean, because again, I'm so burnt out on superheroes. I love superheroes, but I've gotten to the point where I'm just so burnt out on superheroes. I love, yes, and call me old. I don't care. I love Kathy Bates and Matlock. Have you seen Matlock? And it's on TV.
I've watched it one time, and honestly, I just could not.
Try to get into it. I love it. I love it, but I will.
But I have a hard time with any of those shows. Like
I'm surprised by
Elizabeth or.
I love Elspeth. Oh my gosh!
I know because she's from True Blood, so I love her. Yeah, just as an actress.
One of my favorite shows.
I couldn't do it. I tried.
But I like those procedurals. So I'm a guy who likes Columbo. Those detective shows. I like them a lot. I like action. I like action and detective shows. But there are some stuff that you think that I mean, I know like The Last of Us.
Yes, which I was fine. Okay, when I heard about that show, which I love Pedro Pascal, and when I heard about this show, I was like, I thought it was based off of the book because it's based off of a book and a video game,
right?
And so here I am telling my children, Benjamin and Jackson, oh my gosh, The Last of Us is based off of this book. And they corrected me. They said, no, Mom, it's originally based off of a video game that we play.
Oh, wow.
I'm going, what?
What? We're old.
So I looked stupid. I did know, spoiler alert,
yep.
I did know what was coming in season 2. I just didn't think it was going to happen that soon because it really happens in the video game.
Okay. All right.
So it's staying true to how the video game is. So
when you're looking down the list, or do you have any particular favorites? I'm looking down the list right now.
Probably Severance, which I feel like. I feel like The White Lotus, which I think it's only nominated for Best Show, right?
Best drama.
I don't think any of the actors or actresses, which I loved Walter Goggins in this last season because he's in The Righteous Gemstones, Uncle Baby Billy or whatever his name is, and I love him. So a little bit disappointed he didn't pick up a nomination, but they've won a whole bunch. I do know Jean Smart got nominated again,
Yep.
and she has one for Hacks.
Yep.
So yeah, I feel like the shows are pretty representative. I've seen a lot of them. Surprising. Usually, I've only seen one or
Yeah.
two.
Well,
So
when I do the Oscars, I'm like, what are these 5 movies? I don't know what they are. But
right,
I usually I've seen one of the Oscars, but I mean, there's
right.
some good ones. Only Murders in the Building. So I've seen
Mm-hmm.
I saw the first season. I didn't see the other seasons, but I love that. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff in here if you're
Yeah.
looking to vote, and a lot. I mean, well, gosh, I'm looking at just the great lead actors: Sterling K. Brown, he's phenomenal. Gary Oldman's phenomenal.
Yes, I
Pedro,
love
Adam Scott.
Paradise.
That's gonna be a tough. That's gonna be a tough category. They're
Yeah.
all gonna be tough. But yeah, these are all good.
Mm-hmm.
You've not watched White Lotus? I know White Lotus is the big
No, I
buzz.
have. I've watched all 3 seasons except for this last one. Jennifer
Okay.
Coolidge was not in, and so it was a little like, oh, I miss Tanya. That was her character in the first 2 seasons. So I love Jennifer Coolidge.
Again, look at the list. I think there's a lot of great. Normally, when you look at these lists, you're like, "What is this stuff?" So I think there's a lot of great these Emmys. I think there's a lot of good stuff in here that is a good variety.
Mm-hmm.
But and also usually what happens in these situations, you either don't win or you sweep it.
Right.
So it just depends on who's it just depends on who's the favorite in here.
Right. Which I feel like White Lotus and like past Emmys picked up a whole bunch of them. And again, they're only nominated for
and then
one,
I also look at it sometimes too, which is always a surprise. But sometimes when they get towards the end of their career, it's a gimme. So I love Kathy.
Like
I love
Jean
Kathy
Smart
Bates.
or Kathy Bates. Or...
Yeah, that's what I'm looking. When I'm looking right here, I'm like, okay, Kathy Bates, or like you said, Jean Smart are people I look at like phenomenal. I love them anyway, but I'm like,
right.
Okay, they're getting towards the tail end. Do you just give it to them? Martin Short. Do you? Yeah,
Kathy
Martin
Bates
Short.
has won, right? For Misery.
She's won Emmy. Yeah, so she's won.
So they've won before.
Yeah, they've won. So
I could see, if it was a Susan Lucci.
I knew you were going to go with Susan Lucci. Everybody else was like, who's Susan Lucci? But yeah, yes. 13 years. I mean, come on. I would have quit showing up after the first like couple years. Like, okay, guys.
Right.
And even from the Susan Lucci thing, that's ridiculous. 13 years. She was like the daytime queen of meanness, right?
I mean, she was, but there are a lot of or whatever you want to call them.
And if you want to talk soap operas, I used to love Days of Our Lives and Young and the Restless. So if you're curious,
those are my 2 jams. When you're homesick from school, you watch The Price is Right and The Young and the Restless.
Yeah, Bo and Hope, and then I used to like Danny Romanati and Cricket. Cricket was hot
on The Young and the Restless.
Cricket was hot.
They've both been back on The Young and the Restless.
Well, now they're like
because they just celebrated their 50th anniversary. Yeah. They're the same age as me, and so they've been having these past characters come back. So it's been kind of nice to watch.
Been kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I mean, I know General Hospital is huge. I've seen maybe 1 or 2 episodes of that, but and it was a big deal. It was interesting when I went to college. Days of Our Lives at noon. Everybody would gather in the common area for Days of Our Lives when I was in college. So good memories.
I mean, Days of Our Lives was fine until that whole Marlena got possessed by the devil. I think that's when I kind of was like, I can deal with people being killed and.
Well, even going back to what's the weird one, the Timmy one. I was like, okay, Timmy, no.
Oh, Santa Barbara, wasn't that?
That's Santa Barbara, yeah.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, creeper.
Timmy and Tabitha.
Yeah, like it's like, no, thank you.
I miss
good list for the Emmys. Good list for the Emmys.
Very good. So, let's see, a list for the dumbest shows. So I currently am watching a show that I think would probably be on this list. And I started watching it, I think a few years ago. I got sucked into it. It was probably, when COVID had kind of stopped production of shows and the writer's strike, and it came up in one of the top 10 things on Netflix to watch. It is The Secrets of Skinwalker Ranch. Have you heard about the show?
No.
It's on the History Channel. This is its 6th season. And I think I came in about season 3 when I stumbled upon it. And I watched all 3 seasons. And then it comes out every time, around this time of year, every year. And so here's the overview. I copied it off of IDBM or whatever it's called. Okay. So Skinwalker Ranch and the surrounding area have been referred to as UFO Alley since the 1950s, when numerous anomalous events and strange activity began occurring. A team of scientists and experts conducts a thorough and daring search of the infamous 512-acre property in Utah's Unita Basin, hopefully I said that right, in an attempt to find out the answers behind more than 200 years of UFO sightings, strange animal mutations, and paranormal related mysteries. Scientists use the latest in cutting edge technology like ground penetrating radar and drones to seek shocking discoveries.
Wow.
So it's kind of like The Curse of Oak Island. I don't know if you've ever watched that either, which I think is also on the History Channel. You know, like they give you like little bits and pieces like, oh my gosh, we found this, and but it never amounts to anything.
Well,
like nothing like conclusive.
That's like ghost hunters or different things like that. I mean, it's like.
But one of the cast members, his name is Travis Taylor, and he's Southern. He's from Alabama. And so he has that really like Southerny. And when he says like the secrets of Skinwalker Ranch, but this guy is like, I think he's like, he worked for NASA. He has probably PhDs in like aerospace engineering.
Right.
I mean, all kinds of stuff. So he's super smart. And I think he may have testified. Remember when Congress had everybody come and testify about UFOs and all that jazz? That was just a few years ago. I think he's
an expert, right?
I think he even testified a few years ago. So I think I just love hearing him. You know, we use the LiDAR radar. Like he's saying like these big words in like this Southern accent, and I think for some reason I like it. I have no idea why. Like I said, it's probably the dumbest show. How it's around for 6 seasons, I don't know, but I am invested, and so I watch every year. Every year. You should
just reach out to him and see if he'll come on the podcast, because we're a legit podcast.
Yes, we really are.
I always think about when I think people are always surprised by I always joke, I think I'm way more dude than people realize. So for me, when you're talking dumb shows or things that you consider that, so I like Ice Road Truckers, Pawn Stars, Storage Wars. You're like, what?
Right.
I do love the History Channel. I love World War II. There used to be a show on the History Channel called Top Shot, where they would compete taking shots with guns and So yep. So marksman, different things like that. So those kind of things interest me. And then I'm a real nostalgia buff. So the A-Team, Silver Spoons, Family Ties. I mean, I watch across a wide variety. And I don't know. I wonder if it's because my childhood was taken from me, like Michael Jackson, to where I tend to find comfort in those kind of different. I know. I'm just saying those kind of shows.
Reliving your childhood.
Yeah. Well, and so it's fun to watch those shows, and also I'm big about shows that I could not stay up and watch when I was younger.
Yes.
Like, so I'll go back and watch something I'll know something as a kid. Let's say it's Three's Company or whatever. Now you get all the jokes. But recently, just for the fun of it, I started watching MacGyver.
Oh, I loved MacGyver.
Right. But I never got to really watch. Yeah, I never really got to watch a lot of it as a kid. I mean, I know who MacGyver is, but so I kind of do a little bit more nostalgia. So. Yeah, I think my age is showing to where all the hip new shows. I will discover the new hip shows later on, after everybody says, "Oh, it's
after no one is talking about them anymore."
Well, there's a good one right now that I'm watching called Blind Spot, where she has all the tattoos.
Oh, yes. That was on NBC years ago. Because I think I started watching like season 1 and then just kind of faded out. I never.
Yeah, it's really good, but it's really but it's those kind of things. So to me, I tend to discover I know about stuff, but then I tend to discover it later, and then I'm always like, why didn't anybody tell me this was a great show?
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you tell me it was a good?
We tried telling you to watch the show.
I know.
10 years ago.
It's one of those things when you get done with work or you're done with the job. You just you want to veg more so than try to think.
Right.
So when I do get into shows like you said, like White Lotus or different any show that makes me have to think, I'm like, okay, I'll save this for later. It's too much brain work. I just want some numbing stuff.
Right, which for me is like the Real Housewives of like
Yeah,
OC
I
or
don't.
Beverly Hills.
Okay. Oh
Those
yeah.
are the mind-numbing shows I love to watch. So
Yeah.
even
You know,
even Jay,
I
even
do
Jay, my
not.
husband, is like, why? I'm like,
Yeah.
I love to see rich people with the
Drama.
same problems. I love to see rich people with the same problems as
Oh my gosh.
everyday people.
But but they're so rich. It doesn't even matter. I mean, yeah. So outside of let's say Survivor is good reality or
Yes.
can be fun reality TV.
Yep.
And that's a hit and miss season. You know, we did have a friend named Michelle that was on Survivor one year.
Hmm.
So of course I watched her season. My good friend Faith Martin down here in Tri-Cities is on The Bachelor in Paradise coming up
Right.
here on. I think she's on tonight.
Oh, is she
So
on this one?
yeah, she's on this one. She was on The
Oh,
Golden Bachelor.
right.
So if you watch that, she came in third. So she's there all the way to the end. And they
Hmm.
come to the Tri-Cities.
Oh,
So
nice.
those are those exceptions where, but for me, it's like my wife Megan is into what? Love Island, or what's the one where you're
Yeah.
blind?
Oh yeah, Love is
blind.
Blind,
Oh,
where you
she loves.
can't
Oh my
see
God,
them.
she'll sit and watch that nonsense. What? I'm like, really? What?
I think I watched one season of both of those, and then I was like, I'm out. I can't
But
do
you're in on
this
the
anymore.
Kardashians.
No, I've never watched. I have never, ever watched a season, an episode of any of the Kardashians
Oh,
ever.
really? Oh, well,
Uh-uh.
then I'm guilty. So here's what's interesting. Years ago, for me, when those shows came into Vogue, right? So I've seen the Kardashians are part of it, and
Mm-hmm.
then even Ozzy Osbourne. So because remember, there was a time when reality TV shows were the
Yeah, it
big
was like
things,
the new thing that everybody
right?
just couldn't
So
get enough of.
when I was new, I would watch at least a couple
Right.
episodes of those. So yeah, so I can't lie and say I've never seen an episode of the Kardashians. Of course I have.
Mm.
And same with a lot of those other shows. Same as The Bachelor. One time, The Bachelor had Chicago on, the rock band Chicago. So
Mm.
of course I had to watch their performance.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, if Richard Page or Mr. Mister was on The Bachelor, or was performing to serenade the couple, I'd be like, okay, where's that at? So I'm
I
guilty
think, which
I'm
The
guilty of
Bachelor
things like,
too, I tried to watch the first season, but it's 2 hours long. That's the other thing.
yeah, those are
If a show goes
ridiculous.
over an hour,
Yeah,
Survivor I can hang on for, but
right.
any of them that go 2 hours, you have lost
Well,
me after an hour.
even from
Like I have
even
checked out.
yeah, even from the show, like I used to love American Idol, you know,
Right.
or The
Yes.
Voice,
Yes.
but because it's like 2 hours,
Right.
my brain is like, okay, and I love seeing those like the recaps on YouTube now.
Yeah, because it's just the
Watch,
condensed version of the show.
watch this person.
I hate how American Idol and The Voice now, like they stretch out the
Yeah,
teaser for like the last 45 minutes of the show. It's like, just get to it already. Like I
right,
have shit to do.
right, exactly.
Like I know you're just trying to eke out every little last bit you can get out of people, but come on, let's make this an hour show and move on.
Now,
Like,
you being from radio should understand time spent listening TSL
I
and
know.
dragging your audience along like a dead hooker.
Yes. Yes. And that's probably why it agitates me even more, is I know what they're doing. And it's like,
Now,
I
will say what's interesting about our age, because I do have a bunch of streaming services. I don't have the Apple one, but I've got everything else. Is I'm okay with commercials because we grew up on commercials.
Right. Me too.
I'd rather pay $6 for something that has commercials than pay $20 for non-commercials. But I know,
Right.
like, I wonder about your kids, Shaylee and all them. Are they dead set about not having commercials in their streaming?
They are used to commercials because of YouTube, because they watch YouTube all the time now. And so they are used to commercials. And I watch regular TV that has commercials. So they've been subjected to that all of their life. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
so
I
they're
think
used.
they would prefer not to have them, but they're not, it's not a thing for, like, they could carry either way, basically.
Right. I was curious.
And they're
'cause
not
some
going to pay
people-
extra.
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
not
Oh,
have
that's good,
commercials.
because there are
No.
people that will pay stupid amounts of money not to have commercials, and I'm like, well,
Right.
but we grew up on it, so to me, it's like it's a normal thing. So I
Mhm.
was curious how your
Right.
kids handle that.
Right. Yeah. Which you don't have Apple TV, which you just said, but I had to renew ours. So we had it to watch Severance. And then when I knew that Murderbot, which is what Alexander Skarsgård is in, was going to be out Which
That's
is, it's a sci-fi. It should be something
right.
that you like. I don't know. It's based off of a book. So I had to renew our subscription, and so I just finished watching that. I think this last week was the ending episode for that season, but it has been renewed for a second season. Thank you.
Yeah,
So
well,
I'm super
just 'cause
excited.
it's your boy. It's your boy.
No.
But I understand that. I understand that. I've got my faves where I go out of my, we've talked about I love Catherine Bell. And she was
Mm-hmm.
on The Good Witch and Jag. So I love Kelly Clarkson. I mean, there's a bunch of folks that I stalk. So I hear you.
Yep. Yep. Which I don't think he's been on a series since True Blood, like an actual
Oh,
TV.
interesting.
I mean, he's been in multiple movies, but not an actual series. So it's kind of nice to see him.
I
show.
always love it when you see an actor or an actress that they rise to fame, like skyrocket, and then you see him in TV shows. You see him in all these bit parts long before they were famous. So it's always fun to be. So you'd be watching an old episode of, let's say, Seinfeld or Friends, and go, wait a minute, that's Jake Gyllenhaal, And so you don't or Brad Pitt or whoever, and you realize they're all there paying their dues.
Have you watched, speaking of Brad Pitt, have you watched his new movie about the Formula One racing cars?
I have not. I hear it's excellent. I hear it's good.
That's what I've heard. My son Benjamin, who is now totally into Formula One racing because of that movie. So
I think what's happened though. I think movies. So I know that horror movies are big these days. I know that superhero movies are big these days. And so it's hard to get I think the drama is the one that struggles these days to get people to the theaters. Back in our day, it was Kramer versus Kramer. There was a lot of dramas on, different things like that.
Crazy dramas.
But I enjoyed, I mean, if you're talking Ricky Bobby, Talladega Nights, Will Ferrell. That's my racing movie.
Car racing.
Yeah, there's my racing movie. So honestly, how often do you go to the movies anymore? Because everybody's waiting for streaming these days. I really, when we talk about that video killed the radio star, streaming killed the movie star.
Oh yeah. I think COVID accelerated it.
Oh, absolutely. I think the majority of people now are like, I'll just wait till streaming. Right. And I think that the companies also shot themselves in the foot by doing same day during the pandemic.
Yeah, but I mean, they didn't really have a choice back then.
No, they didn't. So. But I understand. I understand why the people are like, no, now I'll just wait for it. And so very seldom does a movie come along where I'm like, oh, I gotta go see that.
Right.
But there are cinemaphiles like our friend Dave Edel that will go to IMAX to see F1. So my coworker drove to Spokane to go see Superman on the IMAX.
Oh.
So
I mean, that's cool.
It is cool, but I'm not that obsessed about anything.
Right. I don't think I've ever seen a movie on the IMAX. So
Megan and I went to see Dune on IMAX because that's more of a Megan movie because she loves the book.
Right.
My wife is way more about books that become movies that she's read.
I mean, there have been movies that I have read the book first, and then they are made into a movie, and a lot of times it's usually disappointing. Like the book was better, or they left out a bunch of things. Obviously, a movie has to be an hour and a half, however long, compared to this book. And so they have to cut things out. I get it. But sometimes I feel like, well, you just cut out a huge piece of this book, and now it's kind of wonky in the movie because it just doesn't make sense. So I feel like that has been the struggle for me when I read books and then they come out as a movie. It's disappointing. So,
interesting. Yeah, I don't read, so
I don't know
I'm
if
good.
she feels the same way. So,
I have to ask her. I have to ask her about that. She does give me a lot of crap. It's so funny. She says I don't read real books because of comic books. I'm like, what are you talking about? And
how
so
are those not real books though?
Well, I can read. I can sit down and read a book, and I have. But I am much more of so I'll be watching something or I'll be thinking of something and go, oh, I want to know more about that, and then I'll go Google it. Mm-hmm. So I'm much more. And she always jokes, not everything's on Wikipedia. So we go round and round about those little things. But so if I see something that interests me, I'm like, oh, what is that? I'm gonna go read about the Titanic. Now I've read a lot about the Titanic, but I've never sat down and read a thick book about the Titanic.
Right.
I read it in little excerpts.
So I love Lafayette, who was not one of our founding fathers because he was from France, obviously. But I couldn't get into reading his autobiography. So instead, I did listening to his autobiography, and that was much better.
Yeah.
I feel like when the books are kind of slow to start or have those weird areas to them where you just can't stay engaged reading. So
yeah,
I find that works.
Audiobooks have been great because when I was going back and forth to Yakima, one of the engineer gave me an audiobook of Lewis and Clark and the Expedition. So I popped that in, and did Rik read the book? Well, I can tell you that the dog's name was Seamus, and how all these different things about.
You listen to the book, so and if we retain some of that information in the book.
The dog's name was Seaman. I'm sorry, it wasn't Seamus. It was Seaman. So for me, that was real easy to. That was real easy to remember.
Of course, it was.
I'm just saying, little things.
Oh, and you say that Megan and Kyron and them have the sense of humor of a 12-year-old boy.
Not me. I won't let it show.
Mr. Goody Two Shoes. That's what I'm going to call you from now on.
Right. Absolutely. That's
all right. Well, since we're talking about washed up TV shows and personalities, we could transition to Tori Spelling.
Yeah. What's going on with Tori? Now, for me, Tori Spelling's a train wreck. That was one show back in the day, Beverly Hills 90210. I watched that. I watched Melrose Place.
Me too. Yes.
So, and again, it goes back to that was a social thing at that time. Those shows were the hottest things on TV.
Yes, and you had to be in the know.
We were in our 20s. I was, I was, I was 20 years old. So of course you watched 90210 and you watched Melrose Place.
Yeah, Jamie Walters came to the fair. You were not at one.
I was not there, but I do know who he is. Yeah.
Right. This is before he performed, and I have a poster. I think I still have it somewhere, probably packed away in my radio crap.
He hurt Donna. He pushed Donna down some stairs.
This is before he became they wrote him in as a jerk. But I have the poster.
Pruitt. His character was Ray Pruitt.
That's a good memory.
Ray Pruitt. That's what his character's name was.
I asked him if he could, because he's like, well, what's your name? What do you want me, what do you want me to write on it? And I was like, can you write, will you marry me?
And did he do it?
Yes, he did. Like I said, I have it somewhere still because I'm holding on to this.
So he was in a show. So before Beverly Hills 90210, he was in a series called The Heights. And How Do You Talk to an Angel was that big song.
I love that song.
Me, that's my Jamie Walters song is How Do You Talk to an Angel. I know Hold On was a big hit, number one hit. But he was in this musical series called The Heights. And so, but I hear what you're saying. And have you seen him these days? I've seen him.
I think Entertainment Tonight or Extra or something did something about him years ago, but he's not even acting, isn't he? Like a police officer,
he's a firefighter.
He's like a policeman, and he has like 3 kids, and he's married, and he hardly has any hair left.
And he's bald, but I mean that's okay. There's nothing wrong with being bald. I'm just saying that he doesn't. No. He's still a good looking guy. I mean, for his age, he's still a good looking dude. But he's totally not what he used to look like.
Right.
So
okay, well, let's get on to what Tori Spelling did. So
crazy.
She had her old breast implants removed.
Okay.
And this was when she was still married to Dean McDermott or whatever the hell his name is.
Yep.
And so she asked the doctor if she could keep them, which is highly unlikely that they will let you keep them. But this doctor did. So he gave her her old breast implants back, and she had them made into bookends for their anniversary and gave them to her husband. Yes. So her old breast implants are these bookends, which I know, like, when you die, like, they take them out. I have them.
They do? Oh, see.
Yes. So when you die,
well,
especially if you're going to be cremated, because they don't want that, like, whatever they are, saline gel.
Saline, that's right. Thank you, saline.
Yeah, there's different ones. So there's the saline and there's the gel ones. And so usually, which they also take out like any metal that you have. before they
So if
put
you've
you
got
in the
braces,
incinerator.
your braces are coming off, basically.
Right,
Gotcha.
or like a hip replacement or whatever it is.
Wow.
They
Wow.
remove all that stuff before they send you in the incinerator. And so I was joking with Shaylee one day because she was talking about this, like, oh well, you know, they're going to remove your breast implants. I was telling her that I wanted to be cremated. That's how we got on this
Right.
morbid subject. And she's like, well, they're going to remove your breast implants. And I said, well, they could just give them to you then. Like, here you go.
And bookend.
Here's your mom's boobs right
Yeah.
there. So.
And make it a bookends.
I don't think she wants bookends.
What's wrong with What's wrong with Tori Spelling? I mean, now I know that Daddy shut her out of all that inheritance.
Because she did this, or just in general, what's wrong with her?
I feel okay. I do feel bad for Tori Spelling, and then her brother's Randy, who's actually very normal. I actually follow Randy on Instagram because I do. I follow Randy Spelling, and he's pretty normal for the most part. But what's interesting about that whole thing was Aaron Spelling was like the richest guy in Hollywood. Like the house was 150. I mean, the house was insane. It had a candy store in there. It had might as well had a McDonald's. The list goes on. And he didn't leave them. He left them each like $800,000. Like the kids gave it all to Candy, the wife, the widow.
Their
gave
mom.
her everything. And I'm not saying that every kid deserves to get the wealth of their parents, but I think number one, I think Tori Spelling is a mad spender. She's crazy. So and she's always in trouble with the IRS and all these different things, and she hasn't paid her bills, and she lives a lifestyle that she pretty much can't afford. But I think that rejection of her dad probably hurt her a little bit.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like you said, the mom got all the money,
like everything.
And wasn't there a huge fight between her and her mom? I'm guessing it's because.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, they were estranged. Absolutely.
Yes.
So when the dad passed away, they were estranged, basically.
Well, I thought it was because of like who her husband or ex-husband.
Yeah.
Now.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised.
Like
I would
that
not be
was
surprised.
Part of the problem.
Yeah.
Multiple things kind of compounded on each other. That they had a huge falling out, and it was never really repaired, which is unfortunate because Tori has 5-6 kids, and
so I compared Dean McDermott to Kevin Federline. Like, really, freaking, what do they call it? A succubus or whatever that's just fucking hanging on.
I think Dean has been in a few more movies than Kevin has been in music videos or had albums released.
But when I read stories about Britney, and I do follow Britney on Instagram because most of the time she's naked.
Me too.
Because she's naked most of the time. But I do watch her conversations. And some of the things that I do think is okay. I don't know if we've ever talked about this. I think it's disgusting when someone takes advantage of somebody else's wealth.
Oh, yes.
So when I was reading about Kevin Federline and all what he gets, it's insane. Same as the Kevin Costner divorce. I'm not saying now they have millions. You should get part of the millions. However, but the ridiculousness of like the Kevin Costner wife was like, I need to live in the same manner that he does. Like, my level of living. So I'm divorcing Kevin Costner, even though I had an affair with the personal trainer. I'm divorcing Kevin Costner. But my lifestyle does not.
Right.
Yeah.
And I need to continue that same lifestyle. Even though
because that's what I'm accustomed to. Yeah. And the courts go, okay, what? So it's
I think it depends on if that spouse has the kids too, relative to
and that's always
got custody of their kids. So
okay, how much money do they need? I guess that's the question, because that's the insanity is the amounts that they ask for.
Right.
125 million. I mean, 125,000 a month for child support. What?
I mean, they have to pay for their 4 nannies, and
Well, that's it. And that's it. They don't even raise the kids. And the wife who divorced Kevin Costner still wanted to live in the same Malibu. Well, I need to live in the same Malibu neighborhood, so he needs to cover my mortgage. You cheated.
I mean, you should have had a prenup.
And again, when it comes to men, I do believe men are not held as accountable as women are, or in situations. So I am not taking trust me, when you're listening to this podcast, I'm not taking a man's side. You got kids, you step up, you take care of business, period. Right. I think men get away with murder, basically, when it comes to child support, taking care of their kids. You got to step up and be the man. And so, but you see these crazy stories, or going back to the Kelly Clarkson divorce. My crush, like, they got a divorce, and Brandon Blackwell, or whatever his name is, and
I need
I need the ranch, and the list I need $30 million. It was just insane. And they go, because she has it. And going back to Natalie Maines, the Dixie Chicks, she was married to Adrian Pazdar, I believe, and he tried to take her because they lived in California. He took her to the cleaners and said, and he's an actor. And goes, well, but she's the one who provided my lifestyle. So I want to vacation in Cabo, and without her paying for it, I can't do these things. What?
That is playing out right now with Denise Richards. Have you read about that? Like,
no.
Her husband Aaron filed for divorce, which she was on Real Housewives of
Yes,
Beverly
I know.
Hills.
Sure. Yeah.
And then she had her own TV show that I just watched this past season or whatever. But she said, back when she was on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, how, they're never going to get divorced, blah, 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 blah. And so when I read this, I was like, what? But he's asking for like hundreds of thousands of dollars in support, like you're talking about. He's saying we spend $20,000 a month on groceries and
right.
all this stuff.
Like,
and
the insanity makes no sense to me. I'm not saying, well, I earn my keep. Okay, blah, blah, blah. But I have never understood that mentality. So off the soapbox. Oh, I fell off the soapbox.
Prenups, people, get ironclad.
Well, I'm a DJ, prenups. So I got no money. So I've got no money. So I never have to worry about that. But I will give my ex-wife credit, Pokey. She didn't take the comic book collection. Not that it was worth that much, but she didn't. She could have been mean.
Or maybe sell it and split the money.
Yeah, but she didn't do any of those things. She got what she asked for. She says, "I want this," and I said, "Okay." And we could talk forever about that big blunder, that big mistake. Yeah, I could do a whole therapy session for you on that particular situation.
Maybe we'll save that for next
biggest regret of my life.
Well, but you wouldn't have found Megan, so it's fine.
Well, that's what Megan says. Because when I came into Megan with the relationship with Megan, I'm like, "Hey, man, I got all this baggage. I got all this luggage." and she was funny about that. She's like, "Well, now I don't think she thinks that today because now we've been together 17 years. But at the beginning, she's like, well, but I got you. Now I think she could kick me to the curb and not lose an ounce of sleep on that situation. I don't know about you and Jay, but yeah, Megan could kick me to the. I know she could. She don't need me.
Well, but I've always been hyper independent, and so I think that, like, how we grew up, we talked about in past episodes, where I've had to take care of my brother, my little brother, myself. And so you become hyper independent, and that translates, that goes with you into adulthood. And so I, as a person, am independent, and I like my time to myself, which, again, my husband is gone during the week. And this has been what our life has been, 30 some years now.
Yeah,
he's always either traveled for his job or worked away. And some of my friends in the beginning would say, well, how do you do it? Don't you miss him? I'm like, no. I'm like, no. It gives me my time that I need for myself. And then when he comes home on the weekends, we don't fight about stupid stuff. We don't fight about the things that, a couple who would fight about that see each other every day. Like, oh, you did do the dishes or take out the garbage or blah, blah, blah. You just don't fight over that because you have this short amount of time together and you realize that this is stupid. We're not going to fight about it. And you just make the best out of the time that you have. So there you go. That's my 2 cents. So
I like that. I think, yes. I think if I wasn't here and just paid Megan's bills, she'd be happy with that. But I'm not. I'm not that wealthy. I have to live here too. Her big thing, more than anything else, is everything has its place. And through the years,
that's how I am now, though. So
I've tried to do better. I'm not perfect, but I've tried to do better, and just never. I always joke. I just don't ever. What was it that happened? Oh. Okay, here's the situation. what drives her nuts is, so she was at the sink and she was washing a dish or she was loading the dishwasher, and I had my plate behind her. So I waited behind her, and she got upset. She gets upset with me because, you could tell me to move. I'm like, no, I can wait. And she gets infuriated because I will, if she's doing something, I won't interfere. Like I won't,
Right.
I won't go, excuse me.
Right. You try to not be seen. You try to
Yes,
just not
and
get
that
in her
drives her.
way.
Yes, and she hates that. Infuriates her that I tried to be how I was raised. Like, oh, she's ahead of me,
That's what I was gonna say. It's just based off of
but
your
she hates it.
childhood.
She because I don't push her aside and go, excuse me.
I
So
don't know
if
that anyone would do that though. So
well, yeah, but so yeah, so that's so, but that I'm like, I'm just trying to, and she got mad at me about it. She goes, it pisses me off, and I said, well, it's gonna be a long 25 years,
so only that pisses her off.
Oh no, the list is long.
But that's like the main one.
No, well, that's one of them. But here's the deal about being married, and I do believe this, are relationships, and you and I have talked about this. Believe it or not, I do have a theory that we are all married to the same person. They're just in different wrappers. That's all. Because I remember that our good buddy Dave Edel, who's married to Sarah, who's very beautiful. Yes. And our buddy Jack is like, oh my God, she's the most gorgeous woman on the planet. His tongue's Sarah Edel, right? And Dave said one day about Sarah, said, no matter how beautiful they are, someone's tired of their shit.
I mean, that's true. Look at all
and
these
that's on the flip side for them too. I'm sure Sarah gets tired of his. I'm sure Sarah gets tired of Dave's shit as well. But I love those things because I'm like, yeah. So you and I've talked a lot about, the grass is greener over there. It's dirt brown. It's dirt because you're gonna at the beginning, what you think you're missing is those butterflies and that old, that romance. But then you're gonna quickly settle in. And 5 years, we've talked. It's a rarity. It's not to say that it does. Everybody's marriage is different to some extent. But on the other side, even when I talked to, even when I saw Micah a couple months back, we were talking. And man, am I getting too personal now? But he was talking about
these people are gonna.
He goes, gosh, because he's got a daughter and he's got a stepson, he's got a dog, and he was talking about, man, I can't get any romance time with my wife. And I'm like, I don't have any of those things, and I can't get any romance time with my wife because there comes a point where you've been together so long that you don't get any romance time. And my son Logan is hilarious because his girlfriend, his girlfriend's name is Julia, so it's Logan and Julia. And the hilarity is Logan would stay with us on occasion with Julia, and they'd be all entwined watching a movie. Oh, it's so great. I love a movie, And so Logan one time came to me and goes, I don't think you have a good relationship with Megan. He goes, you don't even go near her. You guys don't even act like you're married. And I said, that's called marriage.
That's 17 years. This is what you have to look.
That's called marriage. That's called marriage. He goes, no, we're not trying to gobble each other up like, newlyweds or, well, I just can't breathe. I can't breathe without. I'm like, come on. So Logan's gonna kill me now.
He is.
But he's like, I just make the joke. I'm like, it's called marriage. So 30 years. Come see me 30 years down the road. I will still be alive. Come see me, and I want to see if you're all entwined. Like, let's watch a movie. Oh.
I mean, I feel like that, butterflies and that kind of stuff, like what you talked about. Sure, yes, that kind of wanes, but there are still little moments. Like somebody commented, Jay and I still hold hands, and somebody that was behind, I think it was like one of our friends or something, like, oh, you guys still hold hands, and it's like, well, yeah, like, don't you? Like, I thought that was like weird that they didn't, and so there's still pieces of it. It's just not, you just grow into your relationship and who you are as people, and you grow together.
Right. Oh no, there's wonderful moments with my wife that I love. I remember going to a Christmas party one year at Town Square Media, and Megan was there. We were at, I think, Twigs or whatever. And Dave Edel, who I just talked about with his wife Sarah, Megan was talking to a bunch of people, and he just goes, "Man," he goes, "Megan just really lights up the room. She's just one of those people that lights up the room." And I thought, and I look over at my wife, and I'm like, "Oh, she does light up the room." Or
you didn't know that?
well, of course you know, but you forget. Come on, you forget
Right.
what you have.
Right, and it makes it brings it back into focus for you when other people recognize it and see it.
Well, and I saw her
because we take each other for granted day in and day out.
Yes, because I just saw her recently. She I had to MC an event for her with the Seroptimus here in Tri-Cities, and she was the president, and she was stepping down. She's done her tenure, but she got up there and gave this amazing speech, and it's one of those, you know. But see, that's my problem. Is when I see that, I just want to rip their clothes off. It's there's no in between. But I admire my wife. When my wife wears a dress, she's very attractive, and so she does not like the fact that I want to put my hands all over her because I'm like, but you're hot right now.
Right. So you're saying she should be thankful for that?
Well, but she hates it. She hates it. Oh God, she hates it.
I'm trying to help you out here.
We need to do a whole show on predictability. She says I am the most predictable person she knows exactly what I'm gonna do. Like I try not to be. Do you feel that way about Jay?
Yes, he is very predictable. Where I feel like it's harder for him. He starts
touching your hair and your shoulder, and you're like, okay, I know where this is going.
Like I know, like the moves, and so it's like,
yes,
okay.
But then I'm like, but what do you want me to do? She goes, well, you can be spontaneous and romantic. I'm trying. What are you talking
You're
about?
like, you put the dress on, isn't this
right, exactly. But so a great example is her biggest frustration is if we do date night. Mm-hmm. She says there's an expectation on date night.
As far as what? What is the
expectation?
You do something?
No.
Oh, it has to be romantic?
Well, no, not for her. So a great example is so as a man, on your anniversary and on your birthday,
right?
what do men expect? I'm just throwing it out there. Maybe this is too personal, but
the initials are a B and a J. Is that correct?
Well, that doesn't have to be that. But
just sex in general. Well, that's all you're asking for. Here, I'm shooting for the stars.
Well, I know that other thing's good too. But I'm just saying though. She's like, why can't we just go to dinner? Mm-hmm. And we can. And as she says, we can snuggle, or we can snuggle and watch a TV show. And if something happens, great. No. If something happens, great. But if it doesn't,
that's okay.
So have you ever come across that situation? Like,
no.
That's how Megan is. So it's like, I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, I don't know what to do.
Oh gosh, yeah, that's rough.
And then if I just try to ignore her for like weeks at a time, in terms of that. That's vacation for her. There's
gonna be upset. I thought she was going to be upset because you're not trying to make the moves on her, which means you're just
if I never made a move on her life would be great.
She would be fine.
But in the beginning it was different. So I look back at my Facebook memories, all the nice things she used to say about me,
and not anymore.
Not well. I mean, I know she loves me. I know that, but so anybody got any good advice? Let me know, because I must suck at being married or something.
I think we should have a marriage counselor on before we have anybody on our show.
The interesting thing is, but then when I hear Micah talk about it and he's in the same boat, I'm like, okay, I don't feel too bad.
I feel like this is a common running theme for married couples. Like, you guys are not the only two with this issue,
right?
In America,
right. And I think it's one way or the other. I think it's flip flop. Sometimes it's the woman, sometimes it's the man.
Right.
So,
and it depends, especially for us women, depending on where we are in our life. So if we're talking, early 20s, yes, we have those hormones and we want to have
Right.
sex all the time. And then once you start to have kids and get super focused on that, not so much. And then when we start to hit the older age, when we're really more confident in our skin, and then we are all those hormones start pinging around again, and then we want sex all the time. So for women, I feel like it's a little bit different because we're going through those different seasons of life, and
Interesting.
and
Well,
everything changes for us, especially relative to our hormones, and so that can really dictate where we are for us. So it sounds like
well,
Megan has not hit that part of
yeah,
her life.
I'm waiting for the what is it, the Golden Bachelor or the Golden
Right.
Oldies tour. Waiting for the gold. She's 10 years younger, so I guess I got
Not
to wait for the Golden Oldies tour.
not
So
that old. I mean, once she starts, usually it's 40s, 50s ish when women start to hit that peak of our hormones.
but the
So,
good news, again, I know I'm not alone in that particular situation,
no.
but we laugh because she. I mean, at least I laugh. I don't know. I don't think she laughs, but she goes, "Oh, you're just as predictable as they." Yeah, I'm like, well, wouldn't you rather see me coming?
That's what
Wouldn't you
I
rather?
was going to say. At least she
Right.
knows that she can prepare. We go, oh, here we go. Yeah, here
Right,
we go.
exactly. I mean, come on. I mean, wouldn't you? Yeah. And anyway, so yeah, it's a. We could do a whole therapy session on that stuff. We need to get a marriage counselor in here. It'd be hilarious.
Definitely. It'd probably take more than an hour, though. It'd be like,
Oh yeah, we
a
could
whole,
sit unpack it all.
whole series.
Well, we should do an episode about love language because as Megan tells me, so I will do the dishes, I will do all these chores,
Mm-hmm.
and
Chore play. It's called chore play.
and she goes, "That's not my love language." So yeah, we go around and around because I'm like, well, look at me, I did the dishes, I cleaned the house. I'm ready. That's
And
not
she
my.
doesn't
She goes.
care.
That's not my. She goes. That's not my
Yeah.
love language.
Goodness.
So
Yeah. All right. Well, we were going to talk. I was going to ask you about Jeffrey Epstein, but we're already at like
oh
a
yeah,
minute.
we'll talk about that next time. Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, we'll see what's going on next week.
I guess the question: does it exist or does it not exist? So that's the question.
That's a whole other hour that we can dive into for next week. So, I mean, we'll see.
I think you got a lot.
still...
I think you got a lot out this week for sure. Like,
oh, gosh,
gotta give this one a thumbs down for this week's episode. Thumbs down on it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, I'm kidding.
I apologize to Megan. I apologize to Jay. I apologize to
Sarah.
oh my gosh! Did I name drop way too much?
Yes, yes. I always tell you to stop doing that.
Cut that stuff out.
I mean, hopefully they won't send us a cease and desist. But
I love you all.
We'll find out. Thank you to everyone for listening to Rik and that Michelle chick.